September 11, 2025. Gonna run today. I don't know how I'm gonna run. Uh, my back is getting better, and yesterday something happened, and it's back to a lot of pain. It's not really my back, it's my neck, my shoulder blade. It was awful night. Anyway, I'll see what I do. I'll see how long. It should start to feel better when my body is warmed up. Anyway, let's do that.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm your trainer, Tommy Rhodes. We are here in Lisbon, the beautiful country of Portugal. Today we have a nice 5-minute warm-up, and we have 20 minutes of 30 seconds on with 1 minute recovery, and then a 5-minute cool down. Nice and easy, just like we've done the last couple of days. Let's do it. So this warm-up, again, is just easy walk around our body to just adjust to this new level of activity. We are here in the Castle of St. George in Lisbon, which is the capital of the country of Portugal. Day 3, guys. So today we have the same thing as we've done the last 2 days. You should feel a little bit of soreness probably at this point. So this truly is a workout series for your beginning this new level of activity. And there will have been some stresses over the last couple of days that are new to these tissues that we've talked about. You'll likely feel a little bit of soreness, and that's totally okay. So that stress we've talked about, it's necessary to build strength. That's what we're feeling. So check this out. We are here in, again, the Castle of St. George. This was built in the 11th century. So we're able to take in the iconic views of Lisbon, the red tile roofs, the white facades on the buildings. This was built by the Moors, actually, in the 11th century. The first settlements here on this hill, this hill that overlooks Lisbon, was actually established in the 7th to 8th centuries. And the Moors built this elaborate fortress up here on top of the overlook. And then this has changed hands multiple times. So the Christians came in and they forced the Moors out, and then this became a place where the royal family was housed, and then it went back and forth to becoming a place to house the royal family, as well as barracks for the military. So earthquake. In Lisbon, it destroyed right around 75% of the structures in the country. This is one of the areas that actually has been rebuilt, but compared to some of the other structures, there was less damage done because of the thick walls. And then after 1755, this was primarily just a military barracks. So we're going to work our way down up of this mount, and then begin to work go into right around 20 minutes. Math doesn't work out exactly, but it's easy just to think about it this way. Right around 20 minutes, 30 seconds on with 1 minute recovery of walking. So 30 seconds of easy, easy running. Remember, running simply defined as just having one foot, just having both feet off the ground at the same time. So as easy as we need to go to make that happen. Got a little bit more than a minute left still. We come out here right on the edge. We'll be able to see that view of Lisbon down below. Alright, so in the next minute, just prepare yourselves mentally for this, just like before. Just nice and easy. So you can see off in the distance, we've got that huge bridge that crosses between those two strips of land. That's actually the 25th of April bridge. 25 de Abril is what that bridge is called. That's a bridge which commemorates the day in the late 1970s, 1977, when Brazil was able to gain liberty again from the dictator which ruled for almost 50 years in the late 1900s. Alright, so we're going to go 10 more seconds, and then we're going to start into a nice, easy jog. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go, guys. Nice and easy. Just 30 seconds. So even though we've been walking, we're going to allow our bodies to adjust this little level of activity. You may find some soreness in your leg, in your calves, in your quads. All of that's normal. All of it's necessary, so just nice and easy. 3 more seconds. 2, 1, and relax. Alright. So down to a brisk walk again. We're trying to make sure that we keep our heart rate up. It's possible walking to actually maintain the same heart rate as it is when we're running. So if we're walking hard and running easy, we can actually work our systems, so our heart, our blood, and our lungs while we're resting some of our structures. So again, when I say structures, think about bones, tendons, ligaments, muscles. All those structures, they're going to break down way before our systems do. So again, the biggest risk we have in a program like this is not lack of motivation, it's typically too much motivation. Alright, so we're going to go again, 30 seconds, 2, 1, let's go, nice and easy. So doing too much, too soon, and then causing overuse injuries in our structures. So the goal is to avoid that, absolutely avoid that at all costs. So we're going to go again for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nice and easy back down to a brisk walk. Alright. So, these walking intervals are not necessarily designed to be a complete rest. Like I said, they're just designed to break this up so that our structures have a chance to rest and recover in between these running intervals. Breathe nice and easy. Make sure we keep moving. Alright. 20 more seconds. So this area of Lisbon is actually known for how these streets meander. So it was designed to actually make it difficult to take over that castle. We're going to go in 3, roads were actually designed to make it difficult to find your way up to that castle. So after the earthquake took place in 1755, there was actually an area that we're actually going to run upon. Right, like the Commerce Square is an area that we're going to check out, where a grid system was laid out. This grid system was laid out by a man whose name was Pombal, and he actually set this grid system out so that that area would resemble the type of military establishment that the Portuguese had created in some of the different lands that it had occupied throughout Africa, throughout India, and then even up into Asia as well as South America. All right, we're going to go again in 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. 30 more seconds. So we're following a path right here. You can see there's a trolley track. There's trolleys that actually still work through the streets here in Lisbon. They've been here ever since the early 1900s. All right, 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. So you can see those tuk-tuks. You see those typically in places like India. It's important to remember that large parts of India were actually Portuguese colonies. The whole point of the age of exploration, when Vasco da Gama, the famous Portuguese explorer, made the very first trip, at least the first known trip, around the Cape of Southern Africa, was to try to find a shorter pathway to India so that it was cheaper to import the spices. All right, 10 more seconds. We're gonna go back into a run. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do it, guys. 30 seconds. So right up here to our left, this is known as the Cathedral of Lisbon, or the Cathedral of Lisboa, as they say in Portuguese. So this was built in the year 1147 is when it was finished. This is actually Gothic architecture in combination with Romanesque type architecture. This is one of the areas that actually wasn't completely destroyed during the earthquake. And relax. Back to a walk. So some of this was actually preserved during the earthquake, and then it was rebuilt so that it resembles really similar to the original form when it was built. All right, so another 30 seconds. Nice, easy walking. All right, 20 more seconds. Okay, so these streets here in Brazil, these streets in Portugal, it's the same actually as in Brazil. We're gonna go 5 more seconds. Hold on just 1 second. Not ready. Let's go 30 seconds. Nice and easy running. I'm gonna hold you in suspense, and then I'll tell you about these streets. All right, 20 more seconds. You see how difficult it would be if you didn't know your way to find your way up to that castle. 10 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Back to nice baby walk. Alright, so we're going to work our way out towards the river. That's the Tagus River. In Portuguese, it's pronounced Tejo. Alright, so we're going to cut our way across this little section. Yay, got a good thing. So we've got the cobblestone again. These cobblestones This is actually known in Portuguese as paralelepípedo. It's actually one of my favorite Portuguese words. So paralele means parallel, and then pípedo in reference to these blocks that are laid down. This is iconic cobblestones that you find in a lot of different areas that were colonized by the Portuguese. So the reason I have Brazil on my mind, you find this in Brazil. And 30 seconds, ready, and go, nice and easy. And then what we have here, this is different, the sidewalks, the pavement, this is called calçada portuguesa. So calçada means pavement, portuguesa obviously in reference to Portugal. Right here, the church that we just passed. 3, 2, 1, and relax. That church that we just passed, that church is an iconic church. This is the south side of that church. It was originally known in Portuguese as the Church of Our Mother of Conception. So this is the south side of that. This actually used to be a marketplace where spices and flowers were sold. A lot of that church was destroyed from the fires that came after the earthquake in 1755. All right, let's carefully cross here. There was an orphanage that was attached to that church. That entire orphanage was actually destroyed. A lot of that has been rebuilt. Some of the artwork, the Baroque artwork that's on the inside, has been restored. We've got about 15 more seconds. We're working our way right now into what's known as Commerce Square, or Praça do Comércio. So we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. 30 more seconds. Alright, let's just carefully cross this road. There we go. So right here, across if we can, let it out, around the statue. This statue here that's in the middle of Commerce Square, this statue is actually to pay tribute to the famous king, is actually king when the earthquake took place. So if you see the statue, there's iconic design. You see an elephant here on the left side. You see the king up on top of a horse. And relax. Underneath the horse, there's actually snakes, which the horse is stepping on. Right down below on the medallion there is actually Pombal. So Pombal is the general. He was first in line underneath the king, and he was commissioned to rebuild this entire area after that earthquake in 1755. All right, so we're going to go 15 more seconds and then back into the run. And 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So this is known as the Arch of Triumph here in Portugal. Let's try and get across the road here if we can. So this arch on the left side, we have Vasco da Gama, and on the right side, we have Pombal, again, the general who was in charge of rebuilding all of this area. Nice and relaxed now. So this area again is a grid system, which you can see is in major contrast to the area that we were before, which was just these small, winding little roads. All right, let's keep crossing. right here, this gives us an opportunity to really see this calçada portuguesa, so the Portuguese pavement. This is limestone and basalt cut into these squares, and then this is placed ornately throughout the entire city. So really expensive to maintain, but really durable once it's put in place. All right, 5 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and let's go. All right, we got a red light, so let's carefully cross. Here we go. All right, nice and easy. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, we got another minute. Let's just keep this a brisk walk. Keep that heart rate pumping. All right, so we're going to keep working our way up through this main road, and we'll come out onto another square or plaza. All right, 20 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, guys. 30 more seconds. There we go. We're going to weave our way through these masses and find our way. 10 more seconds. Nice and easy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, another minute. We just got a few more of these 30-second run intervals, and then we're going to cool down with a easy 5-minute walk. All right, 30 more seconds of this walk. All right, stand nice and tall. Make sure as you're walking, make sure your chest is out. You can fully expand your lungs. Let your diaphragm press down. We're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. All right, 20 more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Ooh. All right. So you see these areas right here where you got smoke coming out? These are actually chestnuts. So they roast chestnuts here in those pots and then sell those in the streets. They're called castanhas in Portuguese. All right, we got about 30 more seconds. Let's try and get across here real quick if we can. All right, so still nice and easy walk. So this square is called Rocio Square. This is an area that throughout history has been used for different political revolutions, it's been used for bullfights, it's been used for public executions. Lots of history has taken place in this very area. So you've got this iconic Portuguese design in the sculptures, which denotes there being some type of spiritual guidance within these conquests. You find that a lot with different colonizing powers, that it's, they believe that it's actually the divine will that they go and conquer these other areas. So you'll see deep religious symbolism in these different structures. So you can see the calçada, the pavement, becomes more and more ornate. There's patterns similar to what you find in Brazil. The really famous beaches of Ipanema and Copacabana have the exact same ornate patterns that you find down on the pavement. Ready? We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Alright, so this is our last 30-second run interval before we go in to our cool down. So 15 more seconds, nice and easy. Don't overdo it, so don't do anything different than we've done before. And relax. Alright guys, great work. So now we're just going to go into our 5-minute cool down walk. Alright guys, so for the first couple of minutes, let's try and keep this intensity up just a little bit. Just allow our structures to recover just a bit, but we're going to keep our heart rate up just to optimize, really take advantage of the time that we're working out here. And then we're going to slowly bring things back down into a less intense walk, let our heart rate decrease. So there's an obelisk here in the very middle. Lots of different important dates that are written and engraved on the stone there. It's in reference to lots of different battles, political movements that have taken place that have been important in Portuguese history. So Portuguese history is full of conquests and reconquests, losses of power, and then reestablishing the power either through political means or through military means. So this here in the very middle of this square is put in place to commemorate lots of different dates throughout all of history. Alright guys, so we're going to loop back towards the obelisk here. Got about 1 more minute and then we'll wrap things up. So nice and easy. Bring your heart rate down. Just like in the other workouts, when you finish this workout, make sure you take some time to rehydrate and refuel. Get in some simple carbs and some protein. Make sure you're optimizing your recovery period, getting all the rest you need, all the sleep that you need. Make sure that you come back. We're going to be at it again. Workout number 4. We're going to repeat the same type of process, a combination of run and walk, allowing our bodies to slowly adapt, make sure that they're building strength, our structures and our systems cohesively so that we're able to really develop the skills and the strength it takes to become runners. Guys, congrats on finishing this out, another 30-minute workout. We're just going to keep building upon this, so just trust me. Promise you're going to trust me on this. Work together over 6 weeks. We're going to turn you into runners, I promise. I'm your trainer, Tommy Ribs. I'll see you next time.
I can't call this a run. I'm actually really sore. Really, I have a lot of pain right now. It didn't work out the way I hoped. I thought I'm gonna get warm, and no, actually didn't work out like that. I'm gonna do some stretch, and I still have to go and carry on with my day. Nobody canceled that, and yeah, let's have a good day. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. Shit, it really hurts. I can't sleep. No matter how I lay down, it's so much pain.